Hi YouTube, how are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good considering under all the extreme stressful circumstances. I'm doing great. Oh man, I know a friend of mine wants me to sing. I cannot sing right now. I am too freaking busy and just taking a break now from a very um, busy day. Um, so when I get time, I haven't forgotten you, but you know, uh, I could just say, hey, no more requests, but I'm not going to do that. I mean, I'm thinking about you, and when I get around to it, I will do that. I just cannot right now. Um, Other things are imperative. So, like things I do around here, and that's my life, you know. So, oh, speaking of that, we've got two different deliveries coming today for parts. And so, yeah, excuse this light change business. Well, yeah, so, but yeah, so if somebody shows up, I don't think they need me to sign for anything, but if they do, I might have to cut this short. But um, I'll tell them just a minute and then shut it off and make a part two or something. I don't know. We'll see. See how it goes. I don't know if I have a half hour of stuff to talk about. I might. I don't know. But yeah, today was, like I say, very busy. I got up and got my beef out, the ground beef to make. I made, mixed up 4 pounds of meat for summer sausage, two great big 2 pound rolls each. Oh, that's my curtain blowing. That's what's going on. Um, yeah, it's going to be good, I think, because the nitrates are going to be natural. I did take that other chef's advice and I put in the celery for the nitrate instead of the quick tender, Morton quick tender, and just sea salt, so it will be um, healthy. And then he put liquid smoke on his, and I'm actually going to smoke mine. I went out today and got I got a Texas smoker, so I got that ready. I put some mesquite in there and some oak to get some good flavor going in. And then I thought, well, I got that going. I might as well make supper. So I took some chicken out of the freezer and some cauliflower and put all that out on there. And so I don't have to do nothing later. So I have all that done and got my housework done and things. And so now I finally have time. So, yeah. Oh, I put a post over on its Pine City community page and asked people to slow down around this road. When Doug came home last night, that deer did die. It had been laying there for God knows how long, and he said when it looked in his eyes when he was on his way to town when he called the DNR, he said it was like looking at somebody that he knew. And I knew what he was talking about because he had a cat. His cat now, the mother had died on Halloween out on a road, most likely, came home with her leg hanging off. And I'm sure it was a similar look. I saw it too. It was mortifying, really terrible. So these people on this Facebook community some were very nice. Like a woman said something to me, I would say, she said, hugs, and I said, thank you, hugs back at you, or thank you, I needed that, and I go, hugs back to you, you know. And a couple ladies were really nice, but the most vicious were the women, about 40 years old, you know. And then there was some guys, and then I brought up about the neighbors driving like they shoot their guns. And then I had all these people saying, well, if you don't like it, you should move to the city. And I said, oh, no, nobody hunts on our property. I said, I think people should hunt where they live. So if you live in the city, whatever, so. But then, so after about, and then people were like, because Doug picked it up, he wrapped it in his leather jacket, and when he got home, he had put it in the trunk because the neighbor lady had stopped, and her girls were in the car with her, quite young girls, and wanted to get it off the road so everybody didn't have. There was a dead dog up on the corner for God knows how long till it was just skin, you know. So if these girls go riding their bikes or whatever, and then there's another one that jogs with their little dog all the time, and these people are driving crazy out there. And other people, I said, you know, you're twisting what I said in my post, and then, whoops, and then the one woman said, yeah, they're missing the point. The point was to slow down. Yes, absolutely. And if I would have said, would you please slow down on our road, you know, do the speed limit? They think it's a highway because it's out in the country when it's used to be a one-lane road, and it's a very low maintenance road. And most of the driveways on it are what you call blind driveways. So if somebody pulls out, they could get cremated right there. So it's serious, and there's other people on there that took it very serious. So I just waited in. This one guy in a suit, no offense, we call them zoots, but I call them cityots, or we call them cityites, but cityot. You know, I said, you know, you cityots get out here and you just drive like crazy and you just don't care. That's what it is, you know. We got neighbors that moved in, I said, and then that's when I wrote, they drive like they shoot. And then, oh man, I had all the gun owners just getting down on him. I say, hey, we shoot occasionally, you know, and we have hot rods too, but just because you have a car that goes fast doesn't, and you know, just drive it, run it through the gears and back off. You don't go crazy. It's not like you're going 100 miles an hour or 120, 40 or whatever, 140 miles an hour down the freeway just because you can or whatever, you know. No. These people think, and they get by our driveway and they always would rev up their engines and stuff. And I'm thinking, I wish that truck would just blow up. And guess what? It did. This one guy in particular. Because one time, and this is what made me feel like that, was he was driving down the road. And here was his, I think the kid is 17 or 18 now, on a four-wheeler next to his dad's truck. And there's not room for two vehicles to really pass on this gravel road anyway. So he's right beside his dad, and they're going up this knoll right where my son got run off the road. And I've gotten run off the road there, but controlled it and got back on. But my kid on his bike got run off the road. So if somebody was coming over that knoll, it made me feel like, well, Doug said maybe the dad's got really good insurance on him because my parents did. And they actually did try that, you know. So I said, well, I don't know. But what I do know is they better slow down because it's not just them, it's other people too. But that's a heck of a thing to teach your kid. Let's race. I'm in my truck. You're on a four-wheeler. Let's go down a dirt road where it's super dangerous, and let's see if we can kill our kid today, you know? Like, whatever. This is the kind of guy, and there's quite a few of them that won't talk to me when Doug's around. But I'm walking down the road, and then he stops and asks me if I want to ride. I'm like, no, thank you, you know. And then and then he went to say something. I looked at him like, dude, you know, Doug calls it the Barb look. So yeah, he got one of those. So anyway, yeah, I got my fan going. I hope it's not too noisy. I don't think it is, but we'll see. Usually it's not. But it's just really hot and humid today, so gotta have it on or die. You know. Then I had one fly in the house, and wouldn't you know it? And I wanted to get up early anyway, but it landed on me, and I'm like, oh. And I had turned the fan off, because not so much for me, but my cat, I was thinking, because she's getting older, and I was thinking she's got her own chair. And I thought, oh, she'll appreciate the fan being turned off, you know, but so that thing landed on me, go figure. But then I get up to make coffee and it wasn't around. I was looking for it with the fly swatter and I was thinking, I bet it's in there bugging Doug. And I bet it was in his room bugging him. So, but his cat's a really good hunter for bugs. In fact, I saw one today. It was a beetle type thing. You know, you live in the country, there's bugs. So, you know, you take precautions and you get them out, you know. And so anyway, there was one in my plant. And I go over and I go, oh no, there's one of them beetle bugs in my plant. And Doug's cat comes over and looks in there. He was already and licks his lips. He doesn't kill him, or he doesn't eat him. He just kills them for me. And my cat, she's a mouser. So every animal around here actually has a job to do, like my horse mows the grass. So we buy her grain. We don't have to buy a gas for the lawnmower, sharpen the blades, none of that. We have it like we have little pawpaw trees that would come out and like in the fall when she's through grazing and I have all her hay, or sometimes in the spring, but we'll trim around everything really nice and manicure our yard. But for the most part, she does a really excellent job. And Doug goes, hey, I'm buying you grain. Why don't you get up by the house there and pull them weeds? And him and I and the kids, we used to do that before I got the horse. So I did have a pig for a while for the kids. They'd play frisbee with her, Miss Piggy. They'd play pickle in the middle. She was such a character. I got her when she was just a little pink thing. And then I got a rescue pig named Oreo, and I had her for about 9 years. She was about that age when I got her. So, yeah. And she died of old age, and her and Doug's dog were best friends. And Doug's dog and my horse were best friends. But he was scared to death of my cat and scared to death of my little dog. So funny. She's part Basset Hound and part Jack Russell. She weighs like 20 pounds, and this big Newfoundland Great Dane was scared to death of her. So he was partially blind, and we went to adopt a dog. I was going to get a little dog just for a watchdog out here, not a guard dog, but a watchdog to let me know, somebody's coming. And so ended up this dog, they had cattle panels, and here was this dog with its standing up taller than a man. His head's that big around, and he's like this, and he's looking me in the eyes. And Doug goes, are you sure you don't want that one? I go, I was looking at this one called Stella, a little tiny beagle. And what I really wanted was a Jack Russell. And Doug has always wanted a Basset Hound, so I call mine a Brussels Sprout. I don't know why, but she was so tiny. I'll have to get my pictures out sometime and show you how tiny she was. Incredible. So a couple animals I got when I was really, really sick, and I got them to force myself to take care of somebody when I didn't feel like it. And it kept me going. So I credit my dog and my horse for keeping me going, because I had to go out and feed my horse in the winter. I didn't have a choice. Every day you have to take care of your animals, and whether you want to or not. So I couldn't just sit there and vegetate, you see. So to me was a really good idea. So, yeah. So what's everybody out in YouTube land doing? I found an agate. I was picking out pieces of oak for my fire tomorrow, getting them all ready, and putting some inside the smoker. So, and underneath I have a shelf to keep it dry, because it's supposed to rain tonight. So some of it can get wet, a little wet, because that'll just create more smoke. But I need to have enough dry stuff to actually do that. So. I keep saying I'm going to pull out those pictures. Just a minute. I'm still here. Oh, okay. I have some right there. No, I don't. I must have put them away somewhere else. Oh well, another day, I guess. Huh. I really thought I had them here. Sorry, I will pull them out and I'll make a point to it to make just another picture day. So, yeah. Yeah, the one I have of my little dog, and I have my little dog on top of my big dog's head, and she isn't even as big as his nose. It's just, but it's when I was really, really sick and I had no hair. So what I was going to do is show you how long my hair was before I got sick. Um, it was like 4 inches past my waist, and then I got sick and it started just getting all bad and all bad. And so I cut some of it, and then I had Doug cut some of it. Then I had like bald patches, and that was all from sinus infection from my allergies. And they had to go in there and they had to make it bigger right in here. I have like a scar. Um, well, actually, no, it's on this side. But yeah, I have a scar here. And anyway, I ended up bald. So, yeah. So the only picture I have of my um, dog when she was a baby, I didn't have any hair. Sometimes I'd wear a hat, but sometimes I wouldn't. And, you know, it was freaky. It was. I'd wear a lot of scarves and hats, but that got old too. It's like, yeah, I just don't have any hair. I don't have any. And when it started growing back, that was after really started growing back better when I found out that what I was allergic to and what I wasn't. And after that operation, that really helped too. So because I could breathe and then it wasn't getting infected inside there is what it was doing. So my whole head was like my ears, my nose, I couldn't swallow, and oh, it was horrible. Yeah. Oh, anyway. Yeah. But yeah, the people that like, oh, my oldest son, oh, he's like a funny guy. He said, that's a really good look for you, Mom. And I said, oh, thank you. Like Doug said, all I need is like some leathers on and some big hoop earrings being bald. I said, oh yeah, then I'll just wear when I was 15, I would wear black lipstick and black eyeliner really bad. It's like and hoop earrings. But I'd wear a bandana, moccasins, and then I had this buckskin jacket with the fringe and shit. So yeah. I kind of was like one of the first goths and getting into what it was called blood metal back then. So, and then some of the first hip hop came out of Minneapolis, and yeah, the Beastie Boys, if I'm not mistaken. So, stuff like that. Not when I was 15, that was about when I was in my 20s. So, and then when I was in my 30s, I was into like, do, 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 can't touch us. I like all kinds of music, even classical. I like everything. Except, well, and I do like country. It's just, I got so burnt out on country. It's like just sitting at the bar crying in my beer so many times, I just can't deal with it. And your cheating heart and all the rest of that crap. I just. And rock and roll's like that too, but at least it's sort of radical. It keeps you going. So And I'm like one of these weirdos that likes like elevator music, that music that they put on. Not some of it. When you're on a phone call, isn't there anything worse that you're on a phone call and you're stuck there with music that you just cannot handle? I don't mind if it's like violin or piano, but some of it's just repetitively monotonous, and I can't deal with it. It's like I hold phone out like that, and then if I hear hello, I'm like, hello, your call will be with you in just your representative will be with you in about 200 minutes. Stay with us. We appreciate you, So, yeah. So, yeah, did I tell you so? Anyway, yeah, I shut off those comments on that post, and that was intentional. I did the whole thing intentionally to get everybody riled up because there's other people in our community that feel the same way, and the ones that drive crazy like that, they don't have any regard for the animals. They were saying things like, oh, sure, we just go picking up dead animals all over the place. And Doug had put his old leather jacket over. He felt buckskin to buckskin, well, it's leather. But when his buddy died, uh, his wife gave Doug his friend's jacket, and that's kind of a honor. And so he put it over that deer, and people were making fun of it. And a leather jacket, and yeah, I said that for burial rights, and he's not done yet. He said, and he tell him to f off and all that. And I'm like, no, no, I want him to carry on. I want to see who's who in this community. I mean, I know a lot of nice people, but there's a lot of jerks out there. There's a car club we will not join called the Pine City Cruisers. I call them the Pine City Losers. It's just, I'm going to give you, for instance, of this little town of 6,000 people. Um, we're at their car show, and they have like awards at the end of the show. And this woman was up talking to some guy, and they were addressing everybody. There's little kids around and everything else, and this woman started humping on this guy's, dry humping on his leg. I said as loud as I could, okay, Doug, it's time to go. This is some gross crap right here. I said, trash, freaking trash. I said, all these little kids around here, you should be ashamed of yourself. And I go, under my breath, I looked at her and said it. The little kids didn't hear, see, stuff like that, I'll be in public and I'll say or do something. I don't ever. Like, Lionel Nation had a post, and it said, is there any time when you wouldn't say anything? And I said, never. I like these one word terms for him because he can speak forever. And so, and everybody else tries to, use their wit because he is a comedian and whatnot. But I like the one word things. It's like a yes or no type of thing. That's it. No explanation needed. Just, how I feel. So, yeah. Anyway. And then he coined my term. I was telling about, his wife calls the leets, the deletes. That's cute, isn't it? And he coined my term. I was talking about them, and I meant like slaying them with my mouth. And I said, pick the hill you want to die on. I have a video called that. And Lionel liked that. So you might hear that around Etsy telling the elites, I'm coming after you, and I'm not stopping until you stop. And you're not stopping me at all. Can't do it. They've tried. They tried calling me a witch. They tried making fun of me because I said that Doug was Satan. Well, you could never, ever battle him mind to mind. He literally fry your brain. Literally. I am literally not dead because he doesn't want me dead. He'd rather torture me, although he has calmed down in that area. because he does have love in his heart because he's a human being. He was put in human form. That's how he felt. That's fallen. And I tell people that, yeah, go ahead and think I'm crazy. You don't know him. Some people do, you know. Some people know me too. But this is a fact, you know. It's not that you can't communicate with him, but to oppose him, yeah, a lot of people can't do that, in person or otherwise, you know. So, but I think love is opening up the world a little more than it used to. So, not a whole lot, and I think things are going to get a lot more crazier. But I just have this gnawing feeling that it'll be okay someday. Yeah. So anyway, I thought about going and making an update on that community page. They're called, oh, like the high school, they're the Pine City Dragons, Dragon Gold Digger. But I thought, no, I love just shutting them off. That's what I did it for. I wanted to get them all riled up and then shut them off because it was the ones that do drive crazy that were the loudest, and the rudest. So, and I was very polite, even to the mean ones. And I usually am. I'll be like, and have a good day, or God bless your day. So, and I know that alone drives them crazy. You can just tell kind of an electronic signature how people are feeling. So, yeah. So, yeah. But, so anyway, when Doug got home, some of my groceries had deer blood on them, and his hands, and the gloves he used, he kind of covered her up as good as he could without a shovel at the time. He actually brought her home and put her over by where his dog is buried. Two of them, actually. One that was his daughter's from a way long time ago. Um, and then his buddy, which was old and blind, older than what they said when we got him, and blind, partially blind. So, yeah. So he put her over there, and I really did have to calm him down. I mean, he's not really an emotional person unless it is anger, and then he doesn't really like. Well, he'll rag about stuff, but he's not really like a crybaby or anything like that at all. But like I tell people, the fallen ones, what they call the fallen angels, those are people that had a head start. They knew more than most human beings, and they weren't grateful for the knowledge that they had. So when they were put back in baby bodies and had to start from fresh, that's what the fallen are. They had to be just a human being like the rest of us. They didn't appreciate the head start that they had, so they got demoted, and that just fried them out. And yes, they are pissed, and some of them, they won't let it go. But they're just going to have to keep trying until they get it right, you know. So, and I'm used to make excessive fun of these people, and I really don't feel sorry for them, and I don't pity them. Um, I used to flip and hate them when I was young, when I was a kid. In between like 17 and 20, those were could have been some scary times for somebody, you know. But God kept me safe from doing anything stupid because I really had some hatred going on for people that were like immoral. This really, really bad, which didn't make me any better with that anger coming out like that. But I didn't lose it, you know. It's not like I went and just really beat any, but no, well, I did slap this one woman and girl. We were the same age and popped tires on her bike and made her walk home 18 miles because a couple days before my friend's wedding, she was on the couch next to this woman's baby and her husband to be getting it on when we walked in the house. So yeah, I kind of shoved her into the cupboard, and then I took her outside and slapped her up a little bit. And then the next day I went to her house and her mother let me in, and I walked in her room. I said, if you go around these people again, I'm coming after you. I really didn't hurt her, and I did not hurt her. I know that for a fact. If I wanted to break her bones, that's what I would have done. And I did have to break a bone on a guy's leg one time to save my life. So, I'm, well, capable of doing worse, actually. Trained, but that doesn't mean that I ever would. But I never felt like I needed a weapon, let's just put it that way. And I've had guns pulled on me, had a gun in my mouth. So, but yeah. And people that have pulled guns on me ended up being the ones that were afraid. So, go figure, huh? So to me, it's not really a scary world. And I'm not angry anymore either. I really thought I'd try and appeal to the people like, you don't want to go through this again, do you really? You know, wouldn't you like to know more and be you and feel good about being you and feel healthy and strong without feeling weak in this existence that we have right now? Because there's more. So, which reminds me, I'm going to be getting back to my creation story too. I've got a, let me see, I think I'm on part 3. But yeah, I'll get back to that because actually, the way God talks to your heart, or Satan, whoever is talking to you, or both of them, whatever, God told me to wait on that because there's some people that actually were not ready to hear the facts. And although it's just a story, it's a different version than what people have heard out of things. So he said, no, just wait for a while and let people talk out there and see what they're talking about, and then I would know when the time was right. And the time is getting right for some people to hear the facts. So, yeah. And some people already know anyway, so it's not like a great big deal. If you would like to hear a really good video, Robin's Hood had a video on breaking the habit, and that's as far as he was talking about fasting and doing like a 3-day water fast. And he said he did like 5 times in his life he's fasted. I fasted quite a bit because I do understand the benefits, but one time I just didn't have any food, more than once. But I went like 14 days with no food and then drank some milk and almost died and had to drink a bunch of water after that just to try and dilute what I had put inside myself. It hurt so bad. So you don't really want to push yourself that bad. But and then he says he does like something light is what you want to do when you're coming off of a fast. My favorite thing was always a little bit of salad and a little bit of protein. And I tried to get his stepmom to eat salad with like lettuce, and if you can have tomatoes or whatever type of vegetables, make a salad and just put tuna fish on there with no mayo, just tuna fish and lettuce and maybe like a little lemon salt or salt and pepper, something like that. And I guarantee you, with the protein from the fish and that salad, that's like the best to go into your muscles after a fast because your body wants to eat itself. It starts attacking your metabolism after a few days. So when you break your fast, you want to have the right vitamins to put in it, and a light protein is actually best. So I've gone the steak route after a fast, and When I was younger, I could deal with that a little easier. But if I wasn't allergic to fish or canned goods, I would go. Well, I got that tuna in them packs, but I'm still allergic to fish. But I do love tuna fish. I love cod. I love shrimp. Oh, on one anniversary, we went up to the casino. They have like different restaurants up there, and the jumbo shrimps, them big in there. It's like 3 or 4 we got with salad and whatever potato we had and bread and whatever. And I think I had a pina colada, and then we split this humongous. They have the best carrot cake in the world. It's like a giant slice, and so like that was incredible, really good. So, but they were Gulf shrimp, and I don't think I would get any right now because of what the Gulf's going through. I mean, you've got bacteria that's flesh-eating disease, and the green algae. So any kind of green algae is bad, but there's some that is worse than others. And there's some that is good for the wildlife, like frogs and minnows and turtles, and they actually eat it. Like we got these little, they look like tiny little lily pads, and when they bloom, you can tell because the water does get like the tiny things on there. So, but they're a type of a seaweed more than they are an algae. So, like little pieces of watercress is what they look like, just sort of round. So, I guess I did find something to talk about for a half hour, huh? Okay. Imagine that, I'm talking to myself, not really, but you know. So, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to roll some cigarettes and just kick back for the rest of the night. Because tomorrow I got to smoke that stuff, and I know it's going to be so good. It'll be excellent. So, yeah, it's so easy. Really, really easy. You can make it in your oven. You don't have to have racks or all that fancy stuff as long as you drain the grease and whatever. And it may look a little lumpy, but I guarantee you, if you follow my recipe and if you want to use the celery for the nitrate, I would just use a little less any kind of salt and chop up a 1/4 cup of celery for 2 pounds of burger and go for it like that. I'll let you know if it turned out, and I know it will because I used my mortar and pestle. First I chopped it up really fine, and then I threw it in there with the salt and then the mustard seed and mixed everything in. And I thought about putting some pepper, and I thought, nah. This other dude, he put pepper on the outside of it because it's sort of ugly because he did it in his oven. But if it turns out ugly, it really doesn't matter because it's still going to taste fabulous. So I would rather have that and summer sausage and buttercup lettuce. Just put the sausage in the buttercup lettuce. Oh, I am telling you, if you like any kind of salamis or pepperoni or anything like that, I guarantee you will love that. And talk about low carb, and then you got a low fat protein because all the grease strips out. It's phenomenal. I'm telling you, it really is. So, hope I made you hungry. Eat something good for yourselves. Yeah. So Doug goes to get ice cream. We're going to have a root beer float one of these nights. So, yeah. I think tonight, though, I have some yogurt. I'm going to throw some blueberries in there because they're really good blueberries from Walmart. The Great Value ones I was telling you. This year, they're really super sweet. So, yeah, you can put a little honey on it. But, yeah, there's some people have to watch their blood sugar and their salt intake and like everything they put in their mouth, So, and we all should anyway. So, okay, everybody, thank you for joining me. Have a good night or day wherever you're at. Peace from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. I love y'all. Thank you.